Welcome to another episode of Weekend Vibes. I am Ijeoma Gloria, and today we'll be discussing sustaining a good relationship. This weekend, I am not alone because I have a full house. I have with me Reverend Father Augustine Eleke and our very own Mrs. Anwuli Okolo.
Thank you for having us, and thank you, viewers, for staying tuned with us.
Thank you. So, like I mentioned, we are discussing how to sustain a good relationship. You know, when you are friends with somebody, you start off talking from one day, next day you're talking, another day you're talking, then you move forward to 2 years relationship, 3 years relationship or friendships. But then how does it now go sour, or when does it now go sour to the extent of you're not talking to this person anymore, if you're not even having any common grounds anymore? When you think about this person, you be like, I beg, who is that person? I know you have a friend like that, or even a family relation that you no longer relate with. We want to help you see how you can sustain a good relationship. What is a relationship? What is a good relationship?
From my perspective, we have different ways you can define relationship, but I look at it from connection. Yeah, you have this connection with people, and that connection brings you good and also brings good to them. That is good relationship. That you met this person and both of you are able to connect. This connection goes in different layers and levels. You can have a connection from just friends. It can move to family. It can move to level of intimacy, different forms and grades of it. But the basic thing is there is a connection that brought the two of you together, and then you start the journey of sustaining that togetherness. So I think that is relationship.
Okay. So for me, a good relationship is that kind of relationship that helps you to grow. That kind of relationship that brings the best in you, that just makes you want to do better, or that makes you feel valued. When you just have that in your mind that someone values me, or this person cares about me, or when the person is always there for you, you can be symbiotic, you can be always there for the person as well. When it just makes you feel happy and feel good, and pushes you to be better. I think that qualifies as a good relationship.
Well, as you mentioned, it's a good relationship. I like that explanation. But then how do you build a foundation? Because it doesn't just happen, What are the things that you can do to build a very good foundation for you to be able to move to that extent of, okay, this person values me, see that this person cares about me and all that?
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
No, you can, since you're finished.
Okay. I think communication is a major factor in building a relationship. Relationship, when we say relationship, it's not just friendship. There are relationships that you didn't plan for.
Yes.
Like your brothers, your family, your immediate family, your extended family. You have lots of them, your uncles, your aunties, your children. So those are relationships that you did not even plan for. You just found yourself in there. So how do you build a relationship in that scenario? Communication. When you are able to communicate with people around you that you care about or you want to keep close to you, you're able to know them better. You're able to know how much synergy you guys have. You're able to know where you can come in to help the person's life. You're able to, just be closer to the person. There are a lot of things that you would not know about people if they don't talk. If you don't talk to them, or if you don't reach out to them like, hey, hi, how are you? Like, how are you really? Not just, I'm fine. And then sometimes, if you're close to the person, you can say, you're fine, like generally or honestly, to just say that you really want to, know more about the person. So communication plays a very great role when you're able to talk to the person. I'm not talking about a relationship that is toxic, because there are relationships that are toxic, relationships around you that one-sided communication is even a good way to know when a relationship is not favoring you. When you're always communicating and the person doesn't communicate back, You know that
No,
okay,
that's-
there's something there.
Mm.
Yeah, so communication is a good factor for me.
I could talk about acceptance. Okay, meeting someone just for a moment, and then you show certain level of acceptance, they will be disposed to have a relationship with you because they feel that they are welcomed. But where there is no acceptance, no sign of welcoming, the person knows that you're not welcome here and there is nothing we're going to build. So you just, it's a one-off thing. Give me the money, bye-bye. You go. Or let me have the paper. You get the paper, the person walks away. But if there is a form of acceptance, then this person will feel something good is happening. And then from that acceptance, you will now begin to have what you call openness. Because when somebody feels that he or she is accepted, the person will open up to you. And when I open up to you and you open up to me, our vibing can meet in a point where I feel that what you're bringing to the table is what I'm bringing to the table. You know that question, what are you bringing to the table?
It's very better.
You will ask yourself, yes, I'm bringing acceptance, you're bringing openness, and I'm also bringing openness. Then relationship grows in that light. So when communication is there, there is acceptance. Then you begin to see these two people talk on the level where nothing is like a secret. Everybody is open as much as you can to make sure that we are walking on the same path.
So generally, you're saying that relationships, even from the very beginning, you can know, okay, this is something I want to invest in and this is something I don't want to invest in.
Exactly. If somebody comes to you just for the very first day and shows insincerity, you will be the in fact the most stupid person on earth to want to invest in someone who has shown you insincerity. So it is you that will just say, okay, just laugh, thank you, mama, bye-bye, and then you delete the number, you block the number, and you move on. But if you now say, after the person has shown you insincerity, you say, well, people can change. Good luck. You will now you will now understand that you are the one who chose to invest on what can actually destroy you. And that is what is happening to so many people. You will always see the sign that this relationship is not good for you. But walk away. Don't push yourself to go into it. You will end up hurting yourself.
Well, I think it's easier to walk away in that initial stage, but then some of us are blinded by certain things, I don't know, but that we don't want to see that warning signals there. So for people that have actually passed through these stages of initial acceptance and welcoming and all that, and have built a relationship, then something happens for some reason, you just see that this person stops talking to you, maybe because they moved to another state. What impact will you say distance does to relationships?
You
see where they beat it.
Well, it's when distance sometimes can also affect relationship. Okay, some people will tell you distance is not a barrier, but sometimes genuinely distance can become a barrier. Yeah, so you must be ready to, when you say distance is not a barrier, it means that there is a way, or there are other channels through which you are communicating with that person on a regular. In this digital age, you will see that there are persons who will be far away from each other, but every moment they are communicating. WhatsApp, video call. Once they are able to communicate in that light, distance is not a barrier, because they wake up in the morning knowing that I have seen this person today, then they move on. But there are persons who may not be able to have that level of communication 1 year, 2 years, and at a point you will get tired. And certain relationships can start off well, and it gets to a point when it runs off steam, then it goes off. Communication ceases, just like she said. And once communication ceases, everybody's drifting apart. The relationship may be there, but it is no longer as strong as it used to be, until something comes to bring it out from where it is. So it doesn't mean you hate the person, but it means that you just drifted apart because of work, because of certain commitments, because of certain factors. So, but distance shouldn't be a barrier. when you have a friend. If the person is in the UK and you are in Nigeria, there are channels of communication you can always keep. But you realize that sometimes when the person is in Nigeria, the time she will want to talk to you, you already know. But this time she's in the UK, the time you will want may not be the time convenient for her.
Wow.
And when you will want, those people living in Canada, for instance, US, they will want to make a call. And you remember that it's going to be in the 12 a.m. And you will be asking yourself, should I stay awake till 12 a.m. before I will make this call? I beg.
Let me go sleep.
Who 12 a.m. help? Then the person will just, sleep. And then every day you see that things are drifting apart. So, but there are ways to manage them depending on the persons who are in the relationship.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about, I'm curious, what about relationships that you don't have a choice? Like your child. I've seen parents and children
Drift
being
apart.
estranged. Yeah, so how do you distance can come in, work activities can come in, but this relationship is by force.
Yeah. When we say by force, it's more of
Nature.
how life has played itself. But it's not also by force because you were intentional when you want to have a child. Okay, so nobody forced you and say, I want to have a child.
And what I mean by force is
Yes,
there.
the
There's
child
nothing you
has
can do
come.
about
Yes,
that
the child has
relationship again,
come.
so it's-
It is
yes.
the relationship is there. I think the beauty of what makes the relationship between a mother and a child is about nurture. Because when you nurture into a child a beautiful life of friendship as the child is growing up, the child, even wherever the child goes tomorrow, the child will always cherish that particular friendship that he or she holds with the parent. For instance, if a child was well nurtured in the home before the child moves out of the home to go to the university, to travel outside the country, to start a job somewhere different from where the parents are, you will see that the child will continue to sustain that line of communication between the parent and himself or herself. From time to time, the mother will go to visit. From time to time, the child will also come to visit. Definitely, their life will move on. They are going to start their life and they go that way. That's how life has made it to be. So it will not last forever that your child will always be by your side. You see those mothers who will also, I trained this child. Even when you come in as the wife, you will not come and take the love that my child should have for me. They should go and sit down. Life moves. And you should learn to let go when you're supposed to let go, because all these things are causing a lot of difficulties in marriage for young couples, because you will see the child want to bring the mom to come and stay and live with them in their house 1 year, 2 years. Your presence can suffocate the young girl who wants to have some cool moment with the husband. So balancing it is very important. Okay, you don't overdo it. Once you go to the extreme of one, you scatter it. You take it to the other shortness of time, you also scatter it. You must learn to place a balance between what you give and what you take in the relationship.
Oh, and I also think that as individuals, being family oriented is a good way to see that you can sustain a relationship with your parents. Because some persons are literally not family oriented. They just know that once I leave this house, it is over. I just don't want to go back there. I don't want to associate with them, not necessarily because distance or relationship in terms of marriage. Some just have that nature of, oh, I don't want to go back there, that kind of thing.
What made them get to that point?
Something must have happened.
Yeah,
Something must have happened.
The relationship was not
there.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Something must. I just want to make a quick one. Something must have happened. You see, sometimes you may have a good intention going into a particular relationship, but the feedback you get can actually push you back. Yes, because you have brought in your best, but what you are getting is not what you expected. And then it can easily push you back, and then you can log off. And logging off, you log off your system, everything goes on on that mode where you cannot operate it. So that's how people can log off from you in terms of friendship. When they feel that you are not giving as much as they would want you to give, when they feel that you are taking advantage of them, when they feel that your presence in their life is suffocating them and it is not adding progress, just like she said, they can log off. Some persons may not be able to log off depending on how they have attached themselves to you and how they have let themselves be taken over by you. And then they will, no matter what you do to them, they will say, this is where we are, we just stay. So, but you must learn to know when to know that this particular relationship is no longer adding value
to you,
to make you have goodness in yourself. Then you're able to log off in that life.
There's this thing I hear a lot when people say, if you really care about something, let's go, then it comes back. I don't know how that works.
I don't
understand how that
some
works.
persons will tell you, we are friends today and we quarreled yesterday, we went apart. After some time, we now came back again and then reunite. People say it was my ex, but after some time that ex have settled. You know, life is deep. Life is deep. Sometimes it's not the way you see it. Some things can make some persons to say, I want to go back to my ex because the person has checked every other person that he or she has come around with, and they don't seem to even measure up to that person. Then sometimes it may not necessarily be that. Some may also be coming back to you for vengeance. They will want to get at you. They feel they have not gotten at you and they will want to come back to pretend they are your friend, then just to deal with you and then run off. So in every point in time, you just have to maintain a balance. But quick one before we continue. Toxicity, you know, when you allow it to creep into a relationship, it can kill it off. You know, by attitude, by words, by behavior, those things can make someone to be put off. So if you see that a relationship is toxic,
just remove yourself,
walk away. Don't just say let me manage, walk away.
Except you cannot walk away from some,
because it's actually hard sometimes.
Even the ones you say you cannot walk away from, you die in it. Walk away. You can't just say I will not walk away, then you die and they bury you, and that situation walks away. Walks away from you.
Is nodding. Okay. All right. Okay, so what if you find yourself in situations where you're close to this person, is the relationship that you have termed as good, but something happens along the line? Aside communicating, how do you come back? How do you build it back? How do you call this person back? Can be anybody, not necessarily a romantic relationship. I'm thinking, where does forgiveness come in all of this?
Definitely. Human beings are not perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, we tend to offend people from time to time. Even the person who is offended can offend another person. Yeah, but we must always learn that when somebody offends you and the person comes back genuinely, when somebody genuinely repents of a particular bad action, you will see it from what they do that something has changed. Not when I tell you, come on, I'm so sorry, forgive me, it was the devil that made me to do that. Let's say the person went to sell a property that you own, you bought with your money, and the person sold it and squandered the money, used the money for something, and the person comes back, oh my darling, I'm so sorry, I will not do it again, nothing. Then you now say, okay, I've forgiven you, and the person comes in, and then after 1 week, the person has come in, he sells another property. You forgive, but the person's action has not shown enough remorse that will make you know that this person's request for forgiveness should be given. So if someone is truly sorry for what they have done to you in a relationship that is not proper, then their action going forward will tell you this person has changed. So there is need for you to know when to say, yes, this person has changed and this forgiveness is total. You know, some people can tell you, okay, I've forgiven you, but they are still monitoring you. It's just like you have been placed on probation to check whether you will prove, you prove yourself that you have changed. But there is need for us to forgive. When somebody offends, forgive. And when the person is forgiving, you that is forgiving will show through what you do going forward that you have actually learned your lesson. So forgiveness is good, but when somebody shows you that you are forgiving today, they go back, forgiving today, they go back, don't keep on, holding on to yourself in that light.
Okay.
And then I remember something I say a lot: hurt people. So for you to actually forgive another person, you also have to forgive your own self for some certain things that you most likely would have done to induce that situation. But I think this has been very engaging.
Yeah,
I think it has been engaging. Okay, so do the honors, my darling.
Thank you all for joining us this weekend, and thank you to our special guest, Reverend Father Augustine. Thank you so much, Mrs. Anwuli. And for our dear audience, please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts on this topic. I know you have friends that maybe you might have drifted apart, or people you want to talk to but don't know how to talk to them. Drop your comments and let's have a conversation about it. Until next time, take care and stay safe.
Bye.